Guys, you did this to me. I'm on now. Now, okay? Not in 10 minutes. Now, okay. Well, the light's on me. I can't back out of this now, right? I can't get out of it. I can't. Okay, well, no matter where I go, this light is following me, so I guess I should probably introduce myself as I make my way up on stage. Sorry about my voice. I'm a youth leader. That speaks for itself. Kia ora, ko mai tōku ingoa, no tāmaki makaurau aho, no one hunga aho. Kia ora, I'm Maya, and I am from Royal Oak Baptist Church. Roundabout Youth, yes, and we have had such an awesome weekend together. I'm just going to make my way up on stage. How are we feeling? Good? Tired? Hungry? Too full, maybe? Ready for our beds? Our toilets? See mum? See dad? Brother? Sister? Yeah? Oh, it's bright up here. Hey! Awesome. Kia ora, yeah. I'm Maya, as I said, and it is my privilege to be speaking to you this morning, and it's just such a blessing to be here. So it's Monday, right? Yeah, Mondays. Woo! Guys, I'm going to be real. I hate Mondays. It's like most of the time, Monday means that the awesomeness of the weekend is over. It means back to work or back to school. And, you know, I know it's not just me. I did some research, and research shows that people are usually the most angry, the most frustrated on Mondays. You know, people get grumpy. Have a look at your leaders right now. What are their faces saying? Are they grumpy? Yeah? I'm grumpy. I'm a youth leader. Love you guys. And so for us here at camp today, Monday means we have to go back home. Boo! Boo! It means that the awesomeness of the weekend is over. Ah. Or does it? Or does it? You see, when I was down there, not ready for my talk, a bright light had shone on me, and I couldn't avoid it. You know, I was happily sitting there in the dark, minding my own business, thinking I had all the time in the world before coming up here, but then the light shone on me, and I couldn't just sit there anymore. You know, over the past few days, we've heard over and over that this guy, Jesus, is the light of the world. And it's not just any light, right? It's the light of Easter. It's the light of the resurrection, the light of hope, of love, and of peace. And it is the light that changes everything. And I bet you that maybe you've had the light shine on you this weekend. And just like that light that shone down on me, guys, we cannot avoid that. You know, we've journeyed through many concepts and themes together. You know, the theme of let there be light has been woven into the Easter story. And we've had many different challenges laid out in front of us for us to grab hold of and take home. But I want us to remember that camp, that this celebration, that this awesome party is not about us. It's never been about us. It's always been about and will always be about Jesus. Right? Jesus. Jesus, who came to earth as a humble baby, who walked among us, who healed the sick, who fed the hungry, who was friends with the outcast. Jesus, who willingly suffered and died on the cross for us. But the story doesn't end there, does it? No, because Jesus rose from the dead on that Easter Sunday. He conquered sin and death once and for all. He defeated the darkness with his brilliant light, offering us life, hope, and a love like no other. And you know, the temptation is to treat today, Easter Monday, like it's an ending. You know, all the eggs have been found, Jesus is risen, camp is over. Now it's back to normal life. But man, nothing was normal after that first Easter, and nothing is normal today. Yeah? Because who said the Easter journey ends on Monday? I'm saying maybe it's the beginning, the fresh start all of our hearts have been longing for. You know, Easter camp has changed me, and I'm sure it has changed you in some way. But today does mean going home, right? Going home to reality. You know, someone once asked me how I would define my life at home. It got me thinking, you know, how do we define our lives? Do we define it by the way we feel? Maybe the cars that we drive or the houses we live in, maybe the schools we go to, the grades we get, the amount of money we have. You know, it almost feels like our lives are different here at camp. It almost feels like none of those things matter. But do our lives have to be different going back home? You see, the thing that defines my life is Jesus. And you know what I love about Jesus? He doesn't define us by our circumstances or the things that we have. You know, he sees beyond the surface, behind the masks that we wear and the roles that we play. And he sees our hearts, our struggles, our dreams, and our potential. And he meets us right where we are, whether that be on the mountaintops or in the deepest, darkest valleys. Now, I decided to choose Jesus when I was 16 at youth group. And because of that, in Jesus, I have found a love that goes beyond anything that I could ever imagine. You know, he's not just a distant figure in history. He's my friend, my navigator, my savior. He is Jesus. And I now live each day knowing that I am deeply loved and known. Now, who wouldn't want that? For real, who wouldn't want that? That is amazing. And so if you've been waiting for a sign today or this weekend, I think here it is. Because I think no matter what, a journey does start today. And it is up to you to decide how you will let the light of camp define your life. How will you let Jesus define your life? Now, I'm not a big fan of bugs. I hate bugs. They give me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about them. And so I gave my little youth group, not so little, I gave my youth group a bit of a challenge last night. I said, go and find me some bugs. And so this has got me thinking. I've been thinking about these two bugs in particular over the past wee while preparing this. And I know, weird, who thinks about bugs? But have you ever noticed how cockroaches and moths respond to light? Here's my little ice cream container, boysenberry ripple, oh, my fave. And one of my youth, Shot Nate, give you a shout out. Maya's moths don't open. I think there's a cockroach in here too. I think the cockroach has escaped. That's okay. But just think about it. I was hoping that the moths would fly away, but I genuinely think they're dead. Oh, it is? Did it actually come? Awesome. I hope it's flying towards the light. But yeah, you might have seen it happen this weekend, right? While camping, you know, you turn on a light and cockroaches, just like my one did, scurry away. You know, they seek darkness and they hide from sight. A cockroach is only happy when it remains in its comfort zone. And even if that means living in darkness. But then, as we just saw, there's the moth. Despite its pretty dull appearance, kind of like a butterfly without color, eh? The moth is drawn to the light. They recognize that the light holds something transformative that can awaken it from darkness and lead it to a brighter future. And so it eagerly seeks out the light and keeps going despite the challenges it may face. And those challenges are me swatting it. In much the same way, when we experience the love of Jesus, we're faced with a choice to respond. We can be like the cockroach, right? Who hides from the light and remains in its comfort zone. You know, clinging to darkness, clinging to sin, and, avoiding, ignoring the call to step out and embrace the transformative work of Jesus' gospel. Or we can be like the moth. Give it up for moths. Yeah, moths. We can boldly step into the light, embracing Jesus' love and grace. And as we do that, we find ourselves drawn even closer to him, closer to the light, eager to follow wherever he may lead us. And so I never thought I'd ask this question on the stage of Easter Camp, but we're kind of left with two choices. What are we going to be when the light is on us? Cockroaches or moths? Yeah. Now, I want to continue this idea of responding to Jesus through telling a story from the Bible, because that's what we do. And it's from the book of Acts, and this story has changed my life forever. So it takes place maybe 4 to 7 years after that first Easter, and there's this dude called Saul. Now, Saul wasn't a very nice guy. He believed he was doing right by God and by those around him by going and killing anyone who loved Jesus. Yeah, I know. As my youth would say, this guy had some major red flags. One day, Saul and some of his buddies were on a way to a city called Damascus to find more Jesus followers and, kill them. And on his way, Paul was struck by a blinding light. And he fell to the ground, and he heard a voice say to him,
Saul, why are you persecuting me?
"Who are you, Lord?"
I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting.
Uh-oh, plot twist moment, right? The one he had made his whole life mission to debunk and kill the followers of, now showing up, blinding him, and talking to him.
Now, get up and go into the city, and you will be told what you must do.
So Saul gets up, but when he opens his eyes, he does realize he is blind, because the light literally changed him. He got up, and the guys who were traveling with him led him to the city. But why would Saul go? Why would he listen? Out of fear? Obedience? Maybe. But I think Saul knew that the light has just changed his life. At the end of the story, Saul goes into the city, and at the end of the third day of just waiting around, waiting for God to say what's next, a Christian named Ananias, was summoned by Jesus also. And Ananias was praying, and he caught a vision, and Jesus calls to him, and he responds, "Here I am, Lord." He didn't say, "What? I'm too busy. Sorry, Jesus, not now, not now." He just simply accepts the invitation without even knowing what Jesus is going to say. And so the Lord says,
Go to the house of Judas. When you get there, ask for a man from Tarsus named Saul. He is praying to you right now. I've shown him a vision of a man named Ananias coming in and laying hands on him so he can see again.
You've got to be kidding. Saul, the guy who's rounding up and killing us? No way. Not today, Jesus.
But I have big plans for Saul. Go.
So Ananias goes. And when he meets Paul, he lays hands on him. He prays for him, and he restores his sight. And then Saul gets baptized then and there. Now, this story, honestly, it kind of feels like it comes straight out of a movie. You may or may not know, but after this moment, Saul changed his name to Paul, And Paul wrote a large proportion of the New Testament in the Bible. He became the most radical, faithful, inspirational Christian of his time, and maybe even to this day. When I first came across this story, I was pretty amazed. See, Saul wasn't exactly the poster child for goodness, right? He was pretty crappy. He was out there rounding up and killing people who just loved Jesus. What crime? Yeah, he was awful and angry. But God saw something in him worth redeeming. And that, my friends, gives me hope. It's a reminder that no matter how lost or broken we may feel, God's love can still reach us and change us. But we still have to choose to respond to that. Yeah? I'll be honest, there have been times in my life when I've questioned why Jesus would even bother with someone like me. You know, I felt unworthy, insignificant, lost, broken. Why me, Jesus? And maybe that's how you feel too. Maybe that's how you came to camp on Thursday. But let me tell you, the love that Jesus has for us, it's unlike anything else, team. It's life-changing, life-giving. And so maybe like Saul, maybe not quite like Saul, but maybe you've had an encounter with Jesus here at camp. Or perhaps you've done this for a while now, and you're reminded and you're reflecting on that first moment you had with Jesus. Either way, it calls for a response, a decision to turn away from the old and embrace the new. In youth ministry, there's this term that we like to use. Your youth pastors, your youth leaders might know it, but it's called the post-camp high. You know, it's that exhilarating feeling that lingers for a week or so after camp ends. You know, it's kind of like standing on a mountaintop, right? Delighting in the glory of the experience. For a week, you're going to find yourself buzzing. Maybe you go back to school and you tell all your mates about what happened at Easter camp. Maybe you're still grooving to the EC24 worship playlist on Spotify, which is a thing, by the way. But then as another week passes, life kicks back in, right? We gradually descend from that mountaintop and into the valleys of everyday life. Maybe we start to get back into old habits. Maybe mum and dad are still fighting. Maybe those kids at school are still bullying you. You know, whatever it is, life is still the same. Yet here's the beautiful truth. Even in the valleys, God is with us. Jesus' light is shining still. Just because camp is over, it doesn't mean God's presence suddenly disappears. It's in those valleys, amidst the mundane and boring, that our faith is truly strengthened. And so, while Easter camp is a powerful mountaintop moment, not just a moment, it's an experience, a life-changing experience, and a celebration, right? Let's remember that God's presence goes with us. In the valleys and in the darkness of our everyday lives, God is with us. And so what matters is how you will live in light of what we've experienced here at camp. Now, you might be thinking, okay, cool, Maya, awesome, sounds so good. You're awesome. Thanks, guys. Awesome, you're amazing. But how? How do I do it? How do I follow the light at home? How do I let it change my life? Because at home sucks sometimes. You know what? I totally get it. I've been there too. And so where do we even begin? Well, firstly, I just want to say that you, me, the person sitting next to you, maybe that friend that just went to the toilet, we're all different. We're all unique. And so what works for me might not work for you. However, here are just 3 things that I think will work for us all. First, I want you to look around at your youth groups. Look around, give them one of these. Maybe a mana wave. Yeah. This is your community. It's all about staying connected, team. You might have found yourself feeling like a family here at Camp A. You're whānau. Why does that have to change when you go home? These are your people. So surround yourselves with friends, youth leaders who uplift you spiritually, who encourage you. You know, being part of a youth group, a church, a community can make a whole world of difference. Cool? So, here are my cool ass slides. Community, first one. That's dramatic. I like that. I like that. Thank you. Did that this morning. Number 2, prayer is your secret weapon. Secret weapon, prayer. So make it a habit to talk to God daily. You know, prayer keeps our relationship with God alive and vibrant. And, you know, I reflect on when I used to pray, and I would only really pray when things got tough. But I now know that prayer is an everyday thing. So when you're feeling grateful or joyful, praise Jesus for that too. Talk to him about that. Okay, so number 2, pray. Oh, that wasn't that cool. That wasn't that cool. Now, number 3. Who knows what it might be? I heard it down here. The Bible. The Bible. My Sharpie was running out, so I had to do da because it was cooler. So dive into the Word of God, maybe like it's the latest binge-worthy TV show on Netflix. Team, the Bible can change your life. You know, it's packed with epic stories, wisdom bombs, truth bombs that are waiting to explode your minds and your hearts. So take time to crack it open. Have a look. But you can't do that without community also. So talk to your youth leaders. Talk to your friends. What are you reading in the Bible? I mean, just with that story about Saul. Talk about a story. I said that there were 3, but I actually lied. There's actually 4. The last one, action. Action. You know, remember when Michael the other day talked about the first time light is mentioned in the Bible? And it's in the creation story, eh? You know, light follows a description as the earth as formless, empty, chaotic, dark. And in Genesis 1, God declares, "Let there be light." Give it up for God. You know, God intentionally gives us an idea on how he deals with darkness. Where there is void, where there is chaos or shadows and darkness, his solution is always the same: light. And this concept reappears when Jesus enters humanity. You know, the book of John shares that the world before Jesus' bright entrance was dark, formless. People were broken. And so Jesus then extends this calling of bringing light to the darkness by extending it to his followers, by declaring, "You are the light of the world. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." In essence, Jesus is saying that the hearts of humanity are still broken, still formless, and still dark. But as you love and serve those around you, darkness will flee and people will see Jesus. And so, as you are going home today, you are partnering with what Jesus is up to. Yeah? You are going to bring light to your communities. So remember what Ants talked about, right? About running into the light. Running into the dark with the light. You know, friend, what if God has you at that school because it's empty? What if you are in that neighborhood because it's chaotic? What if you were in that job or in that friend group or in, some of these certain circumstances because God is speaking over them what he's always declared, let there be light. And so as we pack up our tents today and, return home, let's not leave the light here at Mystery Creek. It's shining brightly wherever we go. So remember, Jesus is calling you by name. And he's waiting for you with open arms. And he's waiting for you to change the world. And so maybe, could we get the house lights up just a little bit so I can see? So no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter what you've been through, Jesus is choosing you, and you must respond. Because of Jesus, we can never live comfortably in our seats. Jesus changes everything. So how about we finish like we started? Let's maybe read Michael's words from the other day, yeah? God is with us in the dark. Read with me. God is with us in the dark, giving light to us, shining light through us, flooding the world with God's glorious goodness. So may the light be with you, my friends. Safe travels home. Kia kaha. Kia maia. Kia manawa nui. Kia ora.